EPAWA meteorologist Bobby Marchich here with your outlook for January 7th, 2025. It is Tuesday. The Tuesday video forecast is proudly sponsored by Mark Damiani Painting Incorporated. Colder weather has arrived and it's time to freshen up that family room for those Friday nights on the couch, binging your favorite TV shows or turning the man cave into the colors of your favorite sports team. Let them help you with any interior project for this winter. They are family owned and operated with over 40 years in business. You can't go wrong with their exceptional attention to detail and great customer service. Service in the southeast PA counties of Montgomery, Bucks, and Chester. Call them now to schedule a free estimate at the phone number above me here in the video, 484-571-9233, and mention EPAWA to get 15% off the total cost of any job that is scheduled between now and March of this winter. They are Mark Damiani Painting Incorporated, proud sponsor of the Tuesday video forecast. We're going to start off with the shorter term stuff, and then we're going to get to the weekend stuff, and we're going to go through another physics dive. And those are always fun, right? We're going to go into the physics of what's going to either make or break the weekend storm. I talked about this on social media yesterday on my Twitter account, and then I had one of my moderators actually saw that I posted that, and they decided to copy it and paste it on the Facebook page, which got a lot of reactions to. So I know a lot of you are looking, you're hearing things and rumors and a big nor'easter coming, blah 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 blah. But just we're going to take some caution out of this a little bit and just take this one day at a time. Because there's probably a better chance it misses rather than hits, but it can hit. Okay, and we'll talk about that. So first is the next. This is looking at. Let me go back here a little bit. This is Tuesday, today, and we're looking at some wind gusts, windy conditions today. I think you're going to have windy conditions today, breezy conditions on Wednesday, and windy again on Thursday. Thursday is probably going to be the peak of those 3 days, as it looks right now. And yes, there is a difference between breezy and windy. Windy's just like, holy crap, hold on everything you got. It's pretty windy. Breezy is not quite as windy, and then we're making that distinction. Whatever. I said there wasn't really much of a difference. Apparently there is. So here's what we're looking at here for Tuesday. During the daylight hours, we're looking at wind gusts that are going to be commonly 30 to 35 miles per hour across the region. The higher elevations, though, will get some gusts in the 40 to 45 mile per hour range. Okay, and that's going to be across the Poconos. It's going to be across northern New Jersey. And then once we get to sunset, it slackens a little bit. It's still 10 to 15, gusting 20 to 25 overnight. When we get to Wednesday, a lot of that 15 to 25 stuff and maybe some gusts up to about 30, maybe lower 30s farther east here just yet here on Wednesday. With the rest of us in the interior are maxing out about 30, 31, 32. It's not really going to be an overly windy day. When we get to Thursday, we're back into the really windy stuff again. And this is where I see some wind gusts that are going to be in the 35 to 40 mile per hour range region-wide. And then you're going to have higher elevations getting 45, maybe 45 plus in a few spots. And that's going to go through about midnight on Thursday night before that ramps down and then the wind finally goes away. So this is all part of a deep trough settling in the region. It's going to give us some very cold temperatures over the next couple of days. You'll be below freezing everywhere for the next couple of days. All right, and that's through Thursday. Friday, we're going to have a slight moderation, if you want to call it that, into the lower 30s, low to middle 30s for highs. So it should be a little bit better and less wind to contend with at that time. Now, we're going to talk about this weekend system here, but again, don't get your hopes up one direction or another for either a miss or a hit, okay? Because, and I've actually put in my tweet that they replicated on the Facebook page, I did percentages, right? And I said that you have about, the big storm idea has about a 20% chance to hit, okay? As it stands right now. And that's still probably the case right now. It's about a 40% chance that we get maybe something out of it, but it would just be snow showers. And then a third option, which would be a moderate hit to our southeastern areas, but it's a little closer, but not quite enough to give you a big storm. So here's what I shared. I'm going to show you this. This is what I showed on social media this evening. This is the GFS run from the 18Z run. Everything I have circled here and numbered are a different player in this entire setup. Okay, everything has to play nice and everything has to play together. And if the timing's off or the position is off, it's not happening. Okay, so all of these things have to work in unison. First and foremost, this number one here is a Gulf of Alaska low. It is a very strong low. And what this will do is get this ridge to sharpen a little bit. So it's more like this. The ridge is really sharp and deep. And that is going to be very important for these other pieces here. Number 2, this right here, this is our storm. This is the one that's going to potentially affect us this weekend, which will be Saturday and Saturday night. It would be Saturday night also if it ramps up and turns into a big storm. Otherwise, it's just Saturday, and that's it. Number 3 is this is all northern stream energy. There's one here and there's one here. 3 and 4 are 2 different northern stream energy pieces that are going to be going up and over this ridge. The first one is going to dive into this one right here, okay, and that's going to allow this to eject eastward and control the speed of this. This can't be too slow. Number 2 can't be too slow ejecting from the southwest United States or the Baja California region. It can't be too slow and left behind. Okay, it needs to eject, and this will help. This will help it eject. Number 3 will help number 2 eject eastward. Okay, then number 4 is the piece that would need to phase into the storm in order to get a big storm along the coast. This cannot go in this direction southeastward. It needs to go due south so we can catch a storm somewhere down here. Because if it doesn't, it's not going to be a storm. Okay. And it's just going to go like this, and you'll get some snow showers out of it from the northern stream energy, and that's it. Okay, so this is a critical piece. All these are critical, but this is critical in the sense that it cannot be going in this direction southeast. It needs to go almost due south, maybe south-southeast. That's fine. It just can't run ahead of the storm. If it does, you just get snow showers, and that's it. Number 5 is just the confluence that's sitting over southeastern Canada. This is just providing your this is actually keeping this from the storm, if it does materialize into a big storm, from cutting inland, becoming an inland cutter and turning to rain. Okay, that's what this does. So it kind of sets the confluence there. The last storm, the confluence, for lack of a better word, screwed over the northern areas, so they couldn't get any snow, and that storm couldn't come far enough north. In this case, it keeps it from cutting. So this is a good thing to have this time instead of a bad thing. Number 6 here is the negative NAO. This is your blocking, your Atlantic blocking. Okay, so these are all important players. I think all these things that are on this map, though, this is the most certain thing. You're going to have blocking. Okay, so that is important, an important ingredient for East Coast storms as well. Okay, so this is probably the most certain thing, but the rest of these things, they all need to play together in perfect time and unison, or this is not going to happen. So let's take a look at we'll go over to the GFS, the same GFS that I showed you, and you see those different energy pieces. Again, here's number what was that, 4, number 4. Here's number 3. Here's our storm. Here's that Gulf of Alaska low out here. And the confluence is sitting over the northeast, and there's a block. Okay, so there's all the pieces. Now, as I move this forward, you can see this this is the first one. This is one we need to pay attention to first. This is diving into this system here, and it's doing that because this low is in the right position and strength in the Gulf of Alaska to really get this ridge pumped up and get it very sharp. So everything's moving in this direction, due south. So is this. Okay? We need it to move more south, not southeast, or southeast. I mean, you need to move almost due south. So this first one right here is going to jump into this and eject this one eastward. That's what we're doing here. Okay, that's the first thing. So as I move this forward, you see that it does that. It dives right into it. Right there it is, diving into it, and it ejects it eastward. So now it's over. Now sitting over here in New Mexico, western Texas at this point. This is looking at Thursday night. That northern stream energy piece is still sitting up here, and it's going to be diving down to the south, hopefully, if you want a big storm. If not, if it's going this way ahead of it, that's a no-go, okay? So the GFS does have this diving into this system, and you can see it diving right here, and here's our system, right? And it ejects right into it and captures it, turns this trough from a positively tilted trough, which is a progressive trough, to a negatively tilted trough. So instead of being like this, it's like this, negatively tilted, okay? And that's what you need, at least a neutral trough, but a negative would be preferred. And then once you get to Saturday, you have a big storm here sitting out here with very heavy snow. And this is what the 18Z GFS did. This is what got everybody excited. The 12Z GFS did something similar. You have snow overspreading the area. This thing gets captured, and it really bombs out here with a big snowstorm here for parts of our region. That's the 18Z run. If we go back this a little bit, move it over to the new run here, which is the one that ran this evening, the 0Z run, latest run I have. This one, in this case, this northern stream energy ran out in front a little bit. The timing wasn't there. It didn't jump down into it as much. So when we're sitting here like this and we're waiting for this to dive in, it wasn't diving as quickly into the system as it did at 18Z. So it was slightly more progressive. But you still get some snow out of that in that case, okay? So you get a low here. It's not quite as wrapped up but you still get some decent snow out of this, just not huge snow. Okay, so this could be a a 6 to 12 event, 4 to 8, 6 to 12, something like that, if this were to verify. Okay, but it is not as wrapped up as it was at the last run or the run before that. So there's going to be some bouncing around there, and the reason it's doing that is the timing is just a little bit off. If you're only off by about 3 hours, I mean, it's really that close. This changes the whole ball game downstream. So the European model looks about the same as the GFS does here, as that at the same starting point. The only difference is this ridge is a little flatter, so it's kind of going like this instead of like the GFS is doing, which is more like this. Okay, so it's a little bit more progressive. It's not as sharp of a trough, and that has to deal with this low in the Gulf of Alaska and its position and strength, so which sets that ridge. And so this energy does dive into it. It looks fine so far, but look what's happening. Here's Northern Stream energy, and instead of moving due south, it's moving in this direction. So that's out ahead of it, and that means that there's no connection with this, and then this will just kind of head eastward. The Northern Stream energy runs out in front of it, and you get something out of this, but it's going to be snow showers. Here's what the European did. See that? Just snow showers. Here's our low. It's not phased. So it's not coming up the coast. It's not slamming anybody with heavy snow. You get some snow showers out of it, and that's about it. Latest Canadian model doing something similar to the European model, but it's not quite as bad. It's got some snow showers, a little bit more in the way of snow showers, and it's not quite as flat as the European model is. But I mean, these are just subtle differences. It all comes down to those different pieces I showed you. And if one of these are off, just any of these are off in position, or strength or speed, the whole thing's out the window. Okay, I keep telling you guys a million times, it is so difficult to get everything to line up perfectly for a major winter storm to that level. And we have some every couple times a decade at least. But everything has to line up perfectly. The stars have to align in this case, and there's so many moving pieces that you're trying to get this to align in the right spot in the right position to produce something huge. And there's a lot of things that can go wrong more than right. So that's why the probability is low. We're going to look at this every single day, see where the model's trend over the next couple days, and check out the speed of those different features that I showed you, because that's all we can do at this point. This is going to be one of those deals where we're sitting here on Thursday morning. I still might not have an idea on Thursday morning already. This might not be like we could do a first call, second call thing. It might be one of those deals where we're just like, hey, here's our call, like the day before the storm, because it's really one of those things. Like if you remember back in that blizzard in '96, it was like that. Just one that's popped off the top of my head. Blizzard in '96, the night before we were getting the snow, everybody thought we were getting, the forecast was for 2 to 4 inches. Well, 2 feet later, it's because that the phasing occurred a little bit earlier, and it wasn't expected to. The models didn't have it. So we'll see. We'll see how this works. It's going to be a last-minute thing with this one, I think. But we'll see where we tread over the next couple days and keep updating you every single day. This is probably my only physics dive I'm going to do. We're just going to show you what the models do each day from this point forward. So hopefully you bookmark this. You can go back to it and look at the different pieces that you have to pay attention to if you're a weather enthusiast and want to see where these are going. This is the 500 millibar level, which is 18,000 feet and guides everything at the surface. So these are all critical pieces, and there they are. This is what you need to look for in future runs. I'm EPAWA meteorologist Bobby Marchers. That is your outlook for January 7th, 2025. Have a great Tuesday.